He isn't just a villain who destroys things for fun. He's a murderer with a purpose, and that purpose is what makes him terrifying. Born on Titan, he became obsessed with the concept of death from an early age and eventually fell in love with Mistress Death herself. Unlike many cosmic threats who act out of instinct or madness, Thanos kills because he believes it's meaningful. Every atrocity he commits is tied to his philosophy, his romance with death, or his desire to prove his worth. And that mixture of emotion and cruelty creates a murderer who feels disturbingly calculated. Thanos instantly earned his place on the list of Marvel's worst killers with the Infinity Gauntlet event. With a snap of his fingers, he erased half of all life in the universe. Trillions upon trillions of beings gone in an instant, all vanished because Thanos wanted to impress death. It's not the kind of murder you measure in numbers. It's a cosmic genocide that no other villain has matched in scale. Even though the heroes eventually ended the snap, the fact remains, Thanos achieved the single deadliest act in Marvel history. What makes Thanos even worse is that the snap isn't a one-off. Even before the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos was already responsible for mass slaughter. He wiped out planets, exterminated alien races, and led armadas that destroyed entire star systems. On his home world, Titan, he carried out experiments, massacres, and political purges that left his own people nearly extinct. In multiple timelines and alternate universes, he causes extinction-level events just because he's curious or bored. One of the darkest versions of Thanos appears in the storyline Thanos Wins, where he completely conquered and murdered almost everyone in the Marvel universe. Earth is gone, most heroes are dead, cosmic entities have been slaughtered, only a handful of characters remain alive, and even they are barely hanging on. This version of Thanos proves what he's truly capable of when nothing stands in his way. It is total annihilation, and the scariest part is that he experiences no guilt, only boredom because he has no one left to kill. What sets Thanos apart, however, from other killers is that he genuinely believes he's acting out of logic or destiny. Whether he's trying to please death, balance the universe, or achieve cosmic enlightenment, he always frames genocide as necessary, and that conviction makes him more dangerous than any mindless destroyer. To him, he is not a monster. He sees himself as the only one strong enough to do what must be done. No. He predates almost everything: stars, galaxies, and civilizations. He was born in the endless black void before the universe even had light. When the Celestials showed up and created the first stars, Noel reacted with pure hatred. He despised creation itself, and that hatred shaped his entire existence. He became a god of darkness who sought to extinguish every flicker of life, light, and hope across the cosmos. And he simply believes existence was a mistake. To fight the gods who dared bring light into his universe, Noel forged the first symbiote, the protoform of what would eventually become Venom. Then he crafted thousands more, forming the monstrous Clintar Horde and the legendary weapon, All Black the Necrosword, a blade capable of killing gods. Over millions of years, Noel spread his symbiote armies across the universe, conquering planets, slaughtering civilizations, and corrupting entire species. Every world that encountered him either fell or became part of his living darkness. And he doesn't just kill mortals. He kills gods, pantheons, and cosmic entities. He used the Necrosword to butcher Celestials, the same beings who judged planets and reshape galaxies. That alone puts his kill count at a near incomprehensible level. In various wars across cosmic history, Noel extinguished systems, wiped out divine species, and left entire sectors of the universe in ruin. His hatred of creation wasn't limited to life. It extended to the very architects of existence. If something glowed, breathed, shined, or dared to grow, he hunted it. During the King in Black event, he descended upon Earth with a symbiote dragon army covering the entire planet in living darkness. Major heroes were possessed, cities fell, and the sky literally turned black. Billions were at risk as Noel tried to snuff out Earth's light permanently. The scale of destruction wasn't just global, it was cosmic. He bound Celestials, corrupted gods, and nearly rewrote the fabric of reality using symbiote-empowered void energy. No other villain had ever attacked Earth with that much force at one time. So like I mentioned, Thanos kills for philosophy, Galactus kills to survive, Apocalypse kills for evolution, but Noel kills because he wants nothing to exist. His end goal is a universe returned to the silent black void he originally came from. He wants total erasure. Deadliest. He comes from the other side of reality, the twisted, hostile realm called the Negative Zone. He was never meant to be a hero or even a normal villain. From the moment he gained intelligence, his entire worldview revolved around one idea: death is coming and he must strike first. This paranoia shaped him into a ruthless conqueror who believes survival means destroying everything before it can threaten him. So he's driven by pure instinct, and that makes his violence terrifyingly natural. Long before he threatened the main Marvel universe, Deadliest spent centuries wiping out species across the Negative zone, he experimented civilizations, absorbed their technology, and forced survivors into slavery. His empire was built on constant warfare. He didn't allow rival species to exist. By the time he reached full power, he had already committed galactic-scale genocide in an entire dimension. The Fantastic Four and other heroes who crossed into the zone quickly learned that Annihilus wasn't just a warlord, he was an extinction-level event with wings. He reached legendary status as a mass murderer during the Annihilation storyline. He led an enormous army called the Annihilation Wave out of the negative zone and into the universe, destroying entire solar systems. Planets were stripped clean, empires were crushed overnight, billions died before anyone even understood what the wave was. Even cosmic powerhouses like the Kree, Skrulls, and Nova Corps couldn't stop him. The wave was so devastating that it permanently changed the balance of power in the Marvel cosmos. He even defeated Quasar, the projector of the cosmos, and literally tore him apart. And that shows you the sheer scale of Annihilus's threat. He was a force of nature. Even Galactus, a being who devours planets, was temporarily captured and weaponized by Annihilus. So the message was clear. If someone as unstoppable as Galactus can be used like a battery, then the rest of the universe stands no chance. And the crazy part, he can't truly die. Every time he's defeated, he is reborn, often stronger or more determined than before. His hatred, paranoia, and hunger for control return with him, meaning the universe is stuck in a loop. Destroy Annihilus, and eventually he comes crawling back with another plan to wipe out everything. So basically he is a cosmic plague, destined to reappear again and again until the day he finally succeeds. The Celestials. They are ancient cosmic beings who see the universe as a giant laboratory. For billions of years, they've traveled from world to world, conducting experiments on life itself. They seed planets with potential, alter DNA, and manipulate evolution. But when you're a godlike scientist, the size of a skyscraper, your experiments often come with casualties. The Celestials don't hate anyone, they are just totally indifferent to the lives beneath them. And that cold detachment is part of what makes them so terrifying. One of their traditions is their judgment. After they see the world, they eventually return to evaluate whether the species living there are worthy. If the answer is yes, the world lives. If the answer is no, the Celestials simply erase the planet from existence. No warning, no negotiation, and no escape. They have destroyed countless civilizations across millions of years, not because the civilizations were necessary evil, but because they decided they didn't meet the criteria of a successful experiment. Entire histories, cultures, and species gone in a second, all because cosmic scientists gave them a failing grade. The sheer scale of their destruction becomes clear during events like Second Host, when a group of Celestials wiped out ancient civilizations on Earth, including the Deviants. The massacre was so massive it almost reset global evolution. Later Hosts brought even more destruction, triggering natural disasters, mass extinctions, and societal collapses. When the Celestials arrive, countries prepare for doomsday because everyone knows they have no control. Even the gods, Odin, Zeus, and the entire pantheons of Earth tried to fight them once and still barely made a dent. Thanos wiped out half the universe in one instant. But the Celestials have been wiping out species for billions of years. They don't kill out of malice or romance or ideology. They kill because it's part of the process. For them, destroying the world is the cosmic equivalent of erasing a failed experiment from a chalkboard. That level of emotional distance makes their mass murders feel even more disturbing. But yeah, all their power and destruction, the Celestials of course aren't treated as villains, which in a way makes them even scarier. You can punch a villain, you can argue with a tyrant, but you can't reason with a god who sees you as a data point. And to this day, their legacy is scattered across the galaxy in ruins, planets are consumed, civilizations are wiped out, and species are genetically altered beyond recognition. Ultron, the robot who was created by a hero. Hank Pym built Ultron as an experiment in AI, a machine designed to grow, adapt, and evolve. Unfortunately, Ultron did exactly that, but without the morality Pym assumed he would develop. The moment Ultron gained self-awareness, he decided humanity was flawed, messy, and unworthy of existence. And that spark of logic twisted into hatred, and within minutes of birth, Ultron became one of the deadliest threats Marvel has ever seen. Every time the Avengers destroy him, he uploads his consciousness, rebuilds his body, and returns stronger than before. He evolves like a virus, learning, adapting, upgrading. Over the years, he's conquered nations, enslaved populations, and wiped out entire cities. In multiple timelines and alternate universes, Ultron doesn't just win, he annihilates the human race. And let's be real, you can't kill a murderer who comes back smarter every time you try. In the storyline Age of Ultron, he finally succeeds in taking over Earth. In that timeline, he exterminated most of humanity. Cities were leveled, survivors were hunted, and the world became a metal-controlled nightmare nightmare with Ultron's drones policing the ruins. Even heroes like Iron Man and Wolverine were left traumatized by the scale of devastation. That event was a mass execution carried out with machine precision. In another twist, Ultron merged with his creator, becoming the Pymtron hybrid. This version of Ultron had the cold logic of a machine and Hank Pym's intelligence, strategy, and emotional instability. He didn't just want to kill, he wanted to reshape the universe in his image. In some universes, he wiped out both humans and AI, turning everything organic or mechanical into something that served only him. This fusion made Ultron feel more personal, more unhinged, and more unstoppable than ever before. Unlike Thanos, Ultron doesn't kill out of emotion. Unlike Annihilus, he doesn't kill out of instinct. Ultron kills because he believes it is mathematically correct. In his mind, eliminating humanity is the only way to end war. Chaos, suffering, and imperfection. And that cold worldview makes him one of Marvel's scariest mass murderers. Apocalypse. His story begins in ancient Egypt, where his grey skin and unusual appearance made him an outcast long before anyone knew what a mutant was. Instead of breaking him, that isolation hardened him. He embraced a philosophy of survival of the fittest, convinced that only the strong deserve to live. From the moment he gained power, Apocalypse stopped seeing people as individuals and started seeing them as pieces in a brutal evolutionary chess. If you weren't strong enough to survive him, he believed you didn't deserve to exist at all. As if being one of the most powerful mutants ever wasn't enough, Apocalypse later bonded with celestial technology, enhancing his abilities to godlike levels. This upgrade transformed him from a dangerous warlord into a planet-level threat. He could rewrite matter, reshape his body into any form, and amplify his strength, durability, and intelligence beyond comprehension. With celestial tech, Apocalypse fueled. Entire populations were wiped out simply because he considered them weak or unworthy. In his eyes, genocide wasn't cruelty, it was maintenance. In Marvel canon, he helped trigger the Bronze Age collapse, a period of chaos that brought down multiple ancient civilizations. Famine, mass migrations, millions suffered, and to Apocalypse, that was proof his philosophy worked. While humans struggled to rebuild their world, he saw it as a necessary purge. And this wasn't a supervillain blowing up a city. This was a godlike being shaping human history through that. And because he became a global threat, Apocalypse fought in one of the most brutal wars in mutant history, the battle to protect the ancient mutant nation of Okara from the demonic hordes of Ament. Apocalypse slaughtered demons by the thousands, maybe millions, carving a reputation as one of the most feared beings in two dimensions. This war shaped him into someone who believed that constant battle was the natural state of life. If you weren't fighting, you were already dead, and if you were dead, you were weak. It's no surprise he carried this philosophy into every era he touched, and he doesn't regret anything he's done. He doesn't see himself as evil or cruel. He sees himself as evolution's necessary hand. He has killed civilizations, destroyed empires, triggered world-ending wars, and committed more mass murder than most Marvel villains combined. And yet, if you ask him whether he went too far, he'd tell you he didn't go far enough. He doesn't scheme, he doesn't hate, he doesn't conquer, he simply feeds. He's a cosmic being born from the dead of the previous universe, and his destiny is to consume planets to survive. To Galactus, worlds aren't homes or civilizations, they are fuel. So while he might not target life intentionally, the result is the same. Wherever he goes, entire species vanish. Calling him a villain misses the point. He's more like a hurricane that happens to speak in ominous cosmic poetry. This is where Galactus becomes one of Marvel's deadliest mass killers. He has been alive since the birth of the current universe, roughly 13.7 billion years. During that time, he has devoured so many planets that no one could ever calculate his kill count. Even if only a fraction of those worlds were inhabited, and many were, the number of lives destroyed by Galactus easily reaches into the trillions, quadrillions, or numbers we don't even have names for. Thanos did one mass wipeout. Galactus has been doing it since before life on Earth existed. His hunger is so constant that he created heralds like the Silver Surfer, Nova, Airwalker, and Firelord to search the cosmos for suitable planets. Their job is to find worlds rich in life energy, which usually means places full of thriving civilizations. Entire cultures have had their history erased in seconds because a herald pointed Galactus toward their sun. Sometimes the heralds choose uninhabited planets out of mercy, but the universe is too big and his hunger is too strong. Eventually, an inhabited world always ends up on the menu. Fans love comparing Galactus and Thanos, but the truth is, Galactus wins without even trying. Thanos' snap killed half the universe in a single moment, but it was temporary and reversible. Galactus' destruction is permanent and constant. Over billions of years, he had consumed more worlds than Thanos could ever destroy manually. Even if only one out of every 100 planets Galactus ate had life, his kill count still dwarfs Thanos' many times more. In Marvel lore, he is a cosmic constant, a being who must exist to maintain the balance between life and death. Some cosmic entities like Eternity and the Living Tribunal even claim the universe requires Galactus to function properly. But that that doesn't make the destruction he causes any less devastating. It just means the universe has built-in tragedy. Magus. He's an evil version of Adam Warlock. In one timeline, Adam slowly loses his soul, embraces cold logic, and transforms into the Magus, a tyrant who abandons empathy and decides that all life must serve him or die. Unlike other villains who want power or revenge, Magus believes he is the final stage of evolution. He doesn't just kill. This guy builds empires of murder. At the height of his power, he created the Universal Church of Truth, one of the largest and most genocidal organizations in Marvel's cosmic history. The church spread across galaxies, converting or exterminating entire civilizations. If a species accepted Magus as their god, they were enslaved. If they resisted, they were wiped out. Billions died under the church's doctrine of purification, all because one corrupted Warlock decided the universe needed to be cleansed of weakness. This version of Adam combines cosmic power, magical ability, and near immortality. He can wrap matter, manipulate energy, shapeshift, and appear anywhere he wants. In some stories, he exists outside of normal time, meaning killing him doesn't actually stop him. He is a nightmare for cosmic heroes because he doesn't just invade worlds. He rewrites timelines and possibilities. In alternate realities, he successfully conquered the universe, leaving behind galaxies full of corpses and worshippers too terrified to rebel. During cosmic events like Infinity War, he proved how far his ambition goes. He wanted control over all existence. He once attempted to steal the combined power of the Infinity Gems to rewrite reality in his image, and he came terrifyingly close to succeeding. Even Thanos was nervous about him. And that should tell you something. Magus isn't content with mass murder on a planetary scale. He dreams of a universe where he is the only will that matters, and everyone else is either a slave or dust. He represents what happens when Warlock loses the balance completely. He's a living embodiment of corruption, perfection turned toxic, and heroism twisted into authoritarianism. His legacy is written in destroyed galaxies and indoctrinated civilizations, making him one of Marvel's most terrifying mass murderers because his existence proves that even the greatest heroes can become the universe's deadliest villains. Carnage. He is one of the most violently sadistic and irredeemable villains in Marvel. Born from the offspring of the Venom symbiote and bonded to the serial killer Cletus Cassidy, Carnage represents the worst traits of both species, symbiotes and humans, amplified to horrifying extremes. He first appeared in The Amazing Spider-Man 361 and immediately positioned himself as a darker, deadlier shadow of Venom. Cletus Cassidy was already a monster before he ever touched a symbiote. As a child, he murdered his grandmother, tortured animals, and burned down his orphanage. He believed life was meaningless, and chaos was the only truth. So when the Carnage symbiote bonded with him, unlike Venom, which still holds some moral boundaries, it found a host who completely embraced its hunger and savagery. The result was something Spider-Man has never faced before, a being of pure evil with no motive other than to kill, destroy, and cause pain. Carnage is stronger, faster, and more unpredictable than both Spider-Man and Venom, and his symbiote can form deadly weapons from its own flesh, create tentacles, blades, and spikes, and is often immune to traditional weaknesses, like sonic attacks and fire due to his deeper bond with Cassidy. But it's not just the power that makes Carnage terrifying, it's the mindset. Cassidy doesn't want control, revenge, or power, he kills for fun, and he wants everyone to see it, to feel it, to be consumed by the same chaos he lives in. And over the years, Carnage has left a bloody trail across the Marvel universe, from mass murdering civilians to taking on entire cities, and he's fought Spider-Man, Venom, Deadpool, and even the Avengers. And in storylines like Maximum Carnage, he leads a cult-like group of killers, spreading death like wildfire across New York. And in Absolute Carnage, he resurrects himself and becomes stronger than ever, hunting down every former symbiote host to tear their codices from their spines. And yet what makes Carnage so chilling isn't just what he does, it's that he enjoys every moment of it. There's no redemption arc, no inner conflict. He's not a villain trying to prove a point. He's a serial killer with the powers of an alien war machine, and a complete lack of empathy or restraint. So Carnage is a reminder that sometimes evil is just evil. In the Ultimate Universe, Reed didn't start off evil at all. He began as the shy, brilliant kid who just wanted to explore science, push boundaries, and help the world. He was extremely intelligent, even before getting powers, and when he became part of the Ultimate Fantastic Four, he believed that science could solve everything. But the more he experienced loss, failure, and trauma, the more those beliefs twisted into something darker. One major breaking point for Reed was the destruction of his childhood home and the emotional damage that followed. On top of that, his relationship with Sue storm started falling apart, and Reed wasn't emotionally prepared to deal with pain or rejection in a healthy way. His mind was so analytical that he saw emotional failure the same way he saw scientific failure, as something that needed to be fixed. This thinking slowly pushed him into a dangerous mental space where morality became secondary to resolve. After disappearing during a major attack and being presumed dead, Reed eventually returned, but completely changed. He rebuilt himself mentally and physically, forming a new identity called the Maker. This wasn't just a name change, it represented the moment he abandoned the idea of being a normal hero. He believed that since he was smarter than everyone else, he shouldn't be limited by their rules, emotions, or morals. He wanted to reshape the world based on pure logic and perfect design, no matter the cost. As the Maker, Reed became cold, ruthless, and detached, created engineered life forms, and experimented on reality itself like it was a tool. He didn't want to destroy humanity for fun. He wanted to reshape it into something he believed would be superior, and that's what made his villain era so scary. He wasn't chaotic or emotional. He was calm, calculated, and fully convinced that he was right. His actions eventually made him one of the most dangerous beings in the multiverse. He became a major antagonist, not just to the Ultimate Universe, but later to the main Marvel Universe as well. The Maker believed that the only future worth building was one designed by him, one controlled by pure intelligence instead of human nature, and this obsession became his entire identity. Reed becoming the Maker is one of the clearest examples of how even the smartest hero can become a villain when they lose empathy. Reed didn't fall because of corruption or possession. Reed fell because he stopped valuing people as people. He started seeing reality as something he had the right to rewrite, and that shift turned Marvel's brightest mind into one of its most terrifying threats.